In the spring of 1789, the long-festering conflict between the French monarchy and the aristocracy erupted into a new political crisis. This dispute, unlike earlier ones, quickly outgrew the issues of its origins and produced the wider disruption known as the French Revolution. May 5th, 1789, the Estates General opens at Versailles. June 17th, 1789, the Third Estate declares itself the National Assembly. June 20th, 1789, the National Assembly takes the tennis court oath. July 14th, 1789, the fall of the Bastille occurs in the city of Paris. In late July of the year 1789, the Great Fear spreads through the countryside. August 4th, 1789, the nobles surrender their feudal rights at a meeting of the National Constituent Assembly. August 27th, 1789, the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen is brought into law. July 12th, 1790, the Civil Constitution of the Clergy is adopted. June 20th to June 24th, 1791. Louis XVI and his family attempt to flee France and are stopped at Varennes. April 20th, 1792. France declares war on Austria. September 21st. The convention meets and the monarchy is abolished. January 21st, 1793. King Louis XVI is executed. In April of 1793, the Committee of Public Safety is formed. In July, Robespierre enters the Committee of Public Safety. The French Revolution was the central political event of modern European history. It unleashed political and social forces that shaped events in Europe and much of the rest of the world for the next 2 centuries. The revolution began with the clash between the monarchy and the nobility. Once the Estates General gathered, however, Discontent could not be contained within the traditional boundaries of 18th century political life. The Third Estate, in all of its diversity, demanded real influence in government. Initially, that meant the participation of middle-class members of the Estates General, but quite soon the people of Paris and the peasants of the countryside made their demands known. Thereafter, popular nationalism exerted itself on French political life and the destiny of Europe. Revolutionary legislation and popular uprisings in Paris, the countryside, and other cities transformed the social as well as the political life of the nation. Nobles surrendered traditional social privileges, the church saw its property confiscated, and its operations brought under state control. For a time, there was an attempt to de-Christianize the nation. Vast amounts of landed property changed hands, and France became a nation of peasant landowners. Urban workers lost much of the protection they had enjoyed under the guilds and became much more subject to the forces of the marketplace. Great violence accompanied many of the revolutionary changes. The Reign of Terror took the lives of thousands. France also found itself at war with virtually all of the rest of Europe. Resentment, fear, and a new desire for stability brought the terror to an end. That desire for stability, combined with a determination to defeat the foreign enemies of the revolution and to carry it abroad, would in turn work to the advantage of the army. Eventually, Napoleon Bonaparte would claim leadership in the name of stability and national glory. He was quoted in 1789 saying, "This year has begun, hopefully for right thinkers. After all these centuries of feudal barbarism and political slavery, it is surprising to see how the word of liberty sets minds on fire." Later, in the 1790s, Napoleon was also quoted saying, "Vanity made the revolution. Liberty was only a pretext." The various Romantic ideas made a major contribution to the emergence of nationalism, which proved to be one of the strongest motivating forces of the 19th and 20th centuries. The writers of the Enlightenment had generally championed a cosmopolitan outlook on the world. By contrast, the Romantic thinkers emphasize the individuality and worth of each separate people and culture. A people or a nation was defined by a common language, a common history, a homeland that possessed historical associations, and common customs. This cultural nationalism gradually became transformed into a political creed. It came to be widely believed that every people, ethnic group, or nation should constitute a separate political entity, and that only when it so existed could the nation be secure in its own character. The example of France under the revolutionary government and then Napoleon had demonstrated the power of nationhood. Other peoples came to desire similar strength and confidence. Napoleon's toppling of ancient political structures, such as the Holy Roman Empire, proved the need for new political organizations in Europe. By 1815, these were the aspirations of only a few Europeans. But as time passed, Such yearnings came to be shared by scores of people from Ireland to Ukraine. The Congress of Vienna could ignore such feelings, but for the rest of the 19th century, as will be seen in subsequent chapters of history, statesmen had to confront the growing reality of the power these feelings unleashed.
Adieu, vieille Europe, que le diable t'emporte. Adieu, vieux pays, pour le ciel si brûlant de l'Algérie. Adieu, souvenir, notre vie va finir. Il nous faut du soleil, de l'espace, pour redorer nos carcasses.